I just feel like we as artists have to start taking that responsibility. I've got, I think, maybe 2 million Instagram followers. At least 50,000 really, really care about what I say.
Yeah.
And that's who I make music for now.
Okay. Well, you said when you landed, you felt like you come home. And when you landed in Punjab, you felt like you came home. Isn't it? I think, when things are going mad, like the coronavirus, when there's a worldwide emergency, and this is kind of like World War II, actually, where home is where, if your mother's still alive, it's where your mother is. And is that kind of where you feel home is? Basically, you just needed to get back to your mum, right?
Yeah. I I just needed to feel the last time I remember being happy. And environment, it can either cripple you, and this starts from homes. I swear to God. I, I, I mean, I wasn't ready for an interview, to be honest. I am emotionally really vulnerable, and that is the only time I say no to interviews. When I'm vulnerable, when I'm pure, when I'm honest, when I'm compassionate, I say no to interviews because a lot of people don't deserve that.
Mm.
They deserve the diplomatic answers. They deserve the superficial glitter. They deserve just that because that's the only language they speak. So I yeah. So when you messaged me, I said, let me think about it. So I had to think about it. I wasn't impulsive with this decision. And I also didn't want this interview to be about like, oh, corona, corona. It's like, it's already famous enough. Let's stop talking about it. You know what I mean? I don't need to raise any awareness to what is happening. It is already, everybody knows.
Yeah.
Happen. So, and everybody knows what's being told on the news and what's being told on social media. And there's a lot of fake little tweets going around and stuff. It just people causing havoc and throwing panic around like it's a fun game. It's like, no, people actually feel anxiety on a normal day basis, and when there's a pandemic happening, it's worse. And then when you do these funny games, it's even worse. So you are
Yeah.
unkind. You are unkind, and you are selfish, and this is not you're just on a different level, and maybe you should be on a different planet.
Okay. Look, I'm just going to remind everybody because people are obviously not getting creative, and some people are going, let's talk about Gary, and other people are asking questions about you doing tracks with Sidhu Musiala. So let me just say this to the people who are watching right now. Pin your questions in the comments, yeah? My team will look after them, and I'll throw some of those questions to Jasmine later on. But we've got a conversation to get on with, yeah? So pin those comments for Jasmine on this Instagram live. And you're right, Jasmine. Let's forget Corona, Corona. So Corona, Kado.
Dear God, I pray to God, and I pray to the universe that I hope that everything gets better soon for everybody. And I truly wish that when this quarantine, this lockdown is over, I hope that we are more kind. That is the only thing I hope for, is that we're more kind to people, and we're more understanding of the other person's perspective. Because I feel like what I've seen in all these decades that I've been alive on this planet, misunderstandings are so easy to clear up. And miscommunication is the reason why people, actually have social distancing before the corona. And pride and ego has killed more families and relationships than anything I've ever experienced. And I've just been studying since I was very little. I've been studying. I didn't know the words to describe it. I got into psychology when I was like 20 years old. And I studied books. I used to study psychology books, even if I wasn't being tested for it, like in Barnes and Nobles, grab a cup of coffee, just read some books about social behaviors. It's something that was really, really intriguing to me, and I just thought I needed to learn about it if I needed to survive in this world full of various type of cruel people. And so I learned a lot. And then, but it was so like painful to see how it really was, how people really treated each other. It was so painful to see like how families have broken up in my experience. And I just decided not to face it for a very long time. And then this beautiful blessing in disguise. Like this whole lockdown happened, and everybody along with me was having to face it.
So
And
why
it
did you
was,
call it a blessing in disguise? Because
it's beautiful. You know, I know a lot of beautiful people in my life, and I always remember beautiful things, and I remind myself when I see ugly in the world. I was flying to Cali, and I stopped in, I stopped somewhere, and I spoke to someone, and I said, yo, it's crazy, huh? And she goes, it's exactly how it's supposed to be. And I was like, you are divine. You are everything that we need in this world, acceptance and understanding of the bigger picture. So short story long, what I'm trying to say is it was beautiful. You have to look at life that way. You have to. You can't. There's so many people around us that can complain constantly. मेरी जिंदगी इदां दी आ, मेरे को आ है नीगा, मेरे को आ है नीगा, मेरे को जो कुछ भी नहीं सीगा ना, I still had this heart, a really big heart, and that is the only treasure I have. I have so much love. Actually, I won't talk about how much love I have because then I attract a lot of narcissists and a lot of social. I'm gonna change the location, change the energy of my where I was going. Horse no.
all right, yeah, get out the bedroom. Let's go into another part of the house.
Yeah.
I just think it's really interesting, you know, how you said about people changing. So once again, not about Corona, just the fact that people have been so kind during this whole emergency, and people have changed. And you know how you said, I don't want stuff to go back to normal. My fear is that's exactly what's going to happen. In fact, when the lockdown finishes, wherever it finishes, everything's not going to just go back to normal. It's going to go into even worse territory. You get what I'm saying? Because we've reset. You feel better. I feel better. Everyone we love may feel better, but we don't know about I'm not going to say evil people out there, but the people who don't travel well with this stuff. Maybe this silence has given them a reason to really plot and plan, if that makes sense.
But you know what? We will outnumber them with our love, with our music, with our beautiful blessings. Everywhere we go, we're going to add joy. Everywhere we go, we're going to give kindness. Throw it around like glitter. I read that somewhere. I'm all into Pinterest these days. I just been reading Pinterest quotes, and this is my language. I just throw Pinterest quotes around like everywhere. My mom's here checking mail.
Oh,
Mom, you're on BBC, girl.
ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਆਂਟੀ ਜੀ
ਹਾਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੋ ਜੀ
ਮੈਂ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ ਤੁਸੀਂ
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਠੀਕ ਆ ਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ ਬਸ ਬ੍ਰੇਕਫਾਸਟ ਦੀ ਤਿਆਰੀ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ
So I taught my mom something really beautiful. She's going to teach you guys. What did I teach you? She's like, she should have told me.
She told me kiss on the forehead and it goes to your soul. Like that.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I love the fact you got your mum involved. And your mum's obviously doing your breakfast for you, yeah?
Oh, yeah. She doesn't even know I already had breakfast. I ran to Starbucks and I already ate like some breakfast sandwich.
You went to Starbucks when you could have got pronte and a char and dahi from your mum.
तो हुण मिलेगा ਆਪਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਇੰਜੋਏ ਕਰੀਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ ਮੇਰੇ ਭਰਾ ਦਾ ਹਾਲ ਦੇਖੋ ਇਹਦਾ all he does is play video games shooting people on Counter-Strike.
Dude, first of all, a high five and a salute to you, and secondly, you don't want to be shooting people digitally first thing in the morning. I mean, chill until after lunch, bro.
That's the best time to do it, man. Early bird gets the worm.
Can you give me a kiss on the forehead? I'm just trying to.
Oh my.
What about your sister?
My sister Suttiya, she's a kumbhakaran. She likes to sleep as if that's what she's here to accomplish in the world. She likes to sleep and read, and she likes to she's one of those that plots and plans, scripts.
So this is such an obvious question, but I'm going to throw it in. Now that you and your sister are stuck in a house together, would there possibly be a chance of a jam or a track together?
Yeah. ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਜਿੱਦਾਂ ਆਇਆ ਤਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਘਰ ਦੀ ਮੁਰਗੀ ਆ. You know what I mean? ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜਦੋਂ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮਰਜ਼ੀ ਲੈ ਜਾਓ. I would love to, but I just feel like she's so big for a container of a collaboration that she shouldn't be grouped with anybody.
Yeah.
You know, she has an aura of her own. And I mean, I would love to. We would love to sing a song about, I mean, it would be a dream come true to sing about being best friends and to sing about, I'm writing a song for her. And I sung it to her yesterday. And it's about having gone through so much together as sisters, as soulmates, as best friends. So many things have happened because we're in the music industry, because everybody sees everything we do with a magnifying glass, and people have 100 sorts of judgments, and it is harsh sometimes, but we have been so graceful. Oh, thank God for grace. Thank God for having gone through so much that we don't overreact to the things that happen in our, you know, careers. Short story long, I'm writing a song for her that talks about कि कितना कुछ हो गया है ना? Let's go and talk somewhere only we know. Isn't that beautiful?
It's beautiful. It's deep. I mean, I've seen you two together. I mean, sisters are deep, brothers are deep, but you two definitely have a kind of almost hippie-ish connection, you know?
I love my sister. I mean, my mom and my sister, I'm competing with both of them. Who's my favorite girl in the world? But thank you.
So look, should we talk about the music instead?
Oh, ਮੇਰੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਚੋਂ ਨਿਕਲਣ ਲੱਗਾ ਸੀ ਕੁਝ that I'm not supposed to say. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨਾ ਗਾਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੱਢਣੀ ਬੀਬੀਸੀ ਆ ਮੈਂ ਕਹਾਂ ਯਾਰ, is this personal or do you say this to everybody? I love using words that are fun.
No. We're not allowed to swear. We're owned by the Queen, don't you know?
Okay, fine. But I am owned by nobody, so can I do it?
No, you're not allowed to swear on this Instagram live. I know
Fine.
you come from California. I know you're also a proper Jatti from the Mitti of the Punjab, but you're not allowed to swear.
I was just making you feel edgy and anxious. I would never do that. So I was saying, okay, so what a change of mood. I was just about to cry, and now I am over here fighting for my rights to cuss.
Let me stop you. Why were you about to cry? Is it just that depth you feel when you talk about your sister and your mum, or was there something more added on?
As much as I will reveal, we've just been through a lot as a family. We've been through so much. We've lost so much, and we've been crippled because of that. And we were so strong, and we were so graceful more than anything. Like, I never speak about, with all the 10, 12 years that you've known me, of not been a victim, even though I am a victim. Every one of us is a victim, but I don't wear that on my forehead because that's not sex. Attractive, and you should not do that 24/7. Having a platform like right now, we could have been talking about some other stuff, but here we are talking about what really, really matters and what's going to touch not 2 million people on my Instagram, but 50,000. And that's what's important. People not people that are just hearing, no disrespect. I want to talk to people that are listening. You know, so I love my family, and family is one thing that's never changed for me. Everything has changed. सारे मौसम वांगू बदल गए ते मेरी family रुक्खा वांगू खड़ी रही. And that's why I got teary-eyed. I cry when I write songs. I'm writing a song about my grandma. I lost my grandma, like, I never spoke about this before. I lost my dad. I lost my grandma. I lost Shadow like last month. We had him for 15 years, and like some friendships don't even last that long, you know? And short story long, I'm writing songs about all of them, and they're going to be immortal.
Where, if you don't mind me asking, where were you when you lost Shadow? Were you in the same country?
I was in India.
I'm sorry. Look, family member, that's what I believe when it comes to animals, humans, all that kind of stuff. It's the same thing, you know? People who don't understand that, forget about it.
You're right. And you know what? I'm done with this whole, I'm tough, I'm bold. People that love me. I know. I'm not against anything that's happened in my life. I facilitated this movement. And I'm not just bold, and I'm not just strong. I'm not just all these bomb words people use to explain who I am. I am brave, yeah. I am vulnerable. I am honest. I feel a lot, you know. I feel love so deeply. Oh man, you got to say one nice things to me and I'm in love. You got to say something from the heart and I will keep you forever and I will honor your friendship. So like ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਹਰਟ ਵੀ ਕਰਦਾ, ਜਦੋਂ ਕੋਈ ਹਰਟ ਵੀ ਫੀਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਡੀਪਲੀ ਫੀਲ ਹੁੰਦਾ। ਸੋ ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਇੰਨੀ ਲੱਕੀ ਆ ਯਾਰ, ਮੈਂ ਗਾਣੇ ਲਿਖ ਲੈਂਦੀ ਆ। ਮੈਂ ਤਾਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੀ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਆਰਟਿਸਟ ਬਣਨਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ। ਗਿਟਾਰ ਫੜ ਲਓ, ਕਿਤਾਬ ਫੜ ਲਓ, ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖ ਲਓ, ਪੜ੍ਹ ਲਓ, ਲਾਈਕ ਪੇਂਟ ਕਰ ਲਓ। ਲਾਈਕ I just think we are all artists. I no disrespect to all the other professions, but I think we are all artists, just like God wanted us to be. Create a beautiful world with your words, with your love, with your smile, with co-create with the universe. And I always believed that when I was little. I just didn't have the words to say this. You're born with this energy. God probably whispers in your ear something really beautiful. Be like, you're amazing. You're going to go in love and you're going to go and have a great time. And I'll see you later.
You know what it is, Jasmine? You've been blessed, and I think it's a curse for a lot of people as well. You're an extreme empath. And you know what an empath is, right? It's someone who feels empathy. And when you're an extreme empath, it's not a blessing, it's a blessing and a curse. Because it means when someone hurts you, as you say, you don't just feel it like a metaphorical slap, you feel it like a stab in your heart. When you're an extreme empath, when you feel something, you don't just want to cry tears, you want to vomit out a three-dimensional experience. And that's why you're very lucky, because you're able to turn them into songs. But I always say this about being an empath: it's a blessing, but it's equally a curse as well.
I know. But I would never change it for any other personality type in the world, because I'm happy where I'm at and I am secure. Dear God, like, dear universe, I have been meditating for like 10 years to feel what I feel today. And I have met all the beautiful people that taught me about self-worth, self-respect, setting boundaries. Oh, Lord, I have met sometimes people, friends, boyfriends, like family relations, strangers, business, colleagues, artists, every one of those categories. Some people might sit here, most people actually sit here and talk bad about someone that they cross paths with because they're bitter and they're resentful and they need something to make themselves feel better. And I wrote this in a song like 5-6 years ago, कि नीवा मन्ने दुनिया नु करें तू बुराई, फिर पुछे बदला नु कातों होवे ना चढ़ाई। मतलब कि किसी नु नीवा दिखा के आपां कहने आ, oh, I am at a higher place than you now because you are so bad. They're talking down to you like, you're so bad, you did this to me, like, so that they're pointing down to you because they want to feel that feeling that I'm above you, so they're pointing down to you. But they're the ones that need the most love. Like, you should love them, hug them, kiss them, tell them you are so beautiful, you are going to do great things, and the pain that you're feeling right now is not going to be forever. And that's why I feel family is really important. That's why I feel friends, real friends are really, I got one best friend. I got lots of homies. You know, I met so many people in the world, but I got one best friend. I've known her for 18 years. That says a lot. Like, I love you. I keep you forever, you know? And that's family to me. And I just feel like I've had the best experiences in my life. Some of them have been very painful. They almost had me. They almost had me, but almost. And I got to always remember who I am. And when I do, it's all right.
But that makes you actually, in a really weird way, massively strong. You don't need to worry about being weak when you're vulnerable, because being vulnerable is a strength And I'm just going to ask you now, do you feel that strong because you're kind of vulnerable? Because I feel like the weakest people are the ones who think they're the strongest. I know this is sounding a bit like COD psychology, but I feel the fact that you're able to break down your life into 50 different parts, 50 different emotional parts, and peel away layers and make mistakes and see this relationship and that relationship as it is, makes you one of the strongest artists I've ever spoken to. So you are strong. I mean, you feel that, right?
I do. I do. I'm really, really grateful. And Pinterest quotes are like so beautiful because they're so positive and they remind you of all the best things. And I learn a lot and I apply it right away to my life. It's the grateful people that are happy. It's not the happy people that are grateful. So I am grateful. I'm grateful for this lockdown situation. I'm grateful for everyone I've met because I learned the best lessons. I learned what I deserve. Oh my God, what a lesson to have learned through so many trials and error and so many heartbreaks and so much disappointment, so much abuse. How beautiful is it that what you learned is your worth and you realize that you are so deserving of the best things because you give out the best things. You offer your heart and your soul to everybody you meet. So that is what you deserve from every friend you are to meet from now on.
Just so you know, there's a theme developing in the comments that this interview is making you sad because you're getting very deep and you're crying, which I know isn't true, but I'm just pointing that out. So I'm just going to take this Instagram live, and let's just go in a different direction now. Is that okay with you?
And that's not okay. That's not okay with anybody, to be honest, because
Let me come back.
another thing I learned from Pinterest is all the feelings are for the feeling. Stop avoiding all your painful emotions. Stop avoiding and fast forwarding all the bad days. Yo, this is the time to grow. Grow through it. Come on, bro. Come on, sis. Let's do this.
Yeah, but you're speaking to a bunch of desies, and I'm telling you right now, if there's one thing we're good at, apart from butter chicken, khana pina, it's basically hiding our emotions until we crumble.
Not no more. We said it. We said it. We told him what we've been through, and we shared our experiences with everybody who's watching. And like I said, 2 million people, you would be joking that everyone who's following you is going to be on the same frequency as you, same vibration as you. It is just not possible because the world is filled with so many different beautiful levels of people, and you can't crash course this. You got to go through this. You can't crash course it, and it's painful. But if you want to be your best version, you've got to go through it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, there's a lot of people agreeing with that as well. You know, I think if you are able to take people with you in terms of teaching people a deeper emotional intelligence, you don't have to worry about everyone else because they'll come when the time is right. Just on that emotional intelligence level, how emotionally intelligent are you feeling about post-corona and your life? I'm not talking about your relationship with your mum and your sister. I'm talking about, does any of this, your career and the songs you write, does it matter anymore? And will music still be important after this worldwide emergency? Do you get what I'm saying? Because people may just turn around and go, I don't need a celebrity. I don't even need a singer-songwriter in my life. I learned during the coronavirus epidemic that my family are everything. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, if everyone spiritually grows from this, maybe they don't even need the entertainment side of what you do and what I do.
Celebrities are not that important. Artists are.
Distinction.
Celebrity, I let go of a long time ago. I got famous real quick. I knew exactly how to be famous about 12 years ago, but I chose to drop Muskan because it was an R&B Punjabi song, which was rarely heard of. Then I chose to do whatever I chose to do. I never spoke about it because what's an experiment if you already say what's the outcome? So, as a little psychologist, little you know,
The voice in your head.
yeah, I had to see it. I had to see it for myself. I was like, yo, I feel this about my people, but I'm gonna see it for real. And it was true. It was true. I did all, no disrespect, no disrespect. I love you if you love Mitti Mitti, Illegal Weapon. I love those songs. They brought me so much popularity. I am so famous. Girl, I can't even step out without people saying selfie, ma'am. No disrespect to you. However, no one really cared about Musafira. No one really supported Punjab De Javak. Nobody really vibed to Pinjra. Nobody was looking for Baddal when I dropped it. Yo, and that shows me a lot. It shows me what I already knew. That you ain't ready. You know, you want to fast forward all the uncomfortable emotions. And that's most people. That's not just my people. That's most people because it's hard. But I also learned on Pinterest that if you do what's hard right now, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy right now, your life will be hard. Dropping knowledge. What?
If you've just turned in and tuned into this Instagram live, it's not a living, breathing advert for Pinterest. I just want to make that clear. It's the BBC Asian Network Instagram live with me, Bobby Friction, and Jasmine Sandless. And damn. Okay.
Oh.
So, you know, like, does that not hurt you actually? That I mean, I know you love the songs that made you famous, and there's the bar now as well. Doesn't it hurt you sometimes that the real deep stuff musically isn't picked up upon? And do you think there's an element of the patriarchy about this? Do you think it's basically people within Desi society going, "Tu janani hai, tu kuri hai. We want you to entertain us and dance a bit and kind of give us something nice, but don't get too deep. Because only men with beards, only old men get deep. You shouldn't get deep, girl."
Tell me what not to do and I'll show you how it's done. No
But you get what I'm saying?
I get it. I get it. I ਤਾਂ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ 10 ਸਾਲ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਕਰਨ ਜੇ patriarchy ਇਹ वो, no disrespect, but I am so done with that. I am so done talking about it because you know what you talk about grows. So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the next generation. We've got to sacrifice a little bit of ourselves this time around so that my kids and their kids, especially girls and boys, I don't want to be such a pro woman that I'm sounding as if I'm not at all. You know what I am. So point is, I read something else on this time, not on Pinterest. Maybe I was doing my research. I was Googling some stuff about like women empowerment movements and stuff like that. 5-6 साल पहले मैं बहुत ज़्यादा heavily into सीगी. Like गाने इतने लिखे मैं कि oh, I'm gonna uplift my fellow women and I'm going to write songs that speak about the darkest of my times so they could feel like, yo, if Jasmine can get through it, I can get through it. Because yo, I've got my favorite artists too, like starting from Sade, Nora Jones, so many, the new kids too, like Kehlani, Alina Baraz. They're from this decade, and the other legends are from the other decade. So, yo, like, I learned, and it was funny that we're doing so much women empowerment movements that there's might be a time in a decade that we need men empowerment. I think I have spoken this out loud before because it sounds like deja vu, but like I'm rambling. What did you ask me?
It doesn't matter. You were answering it. I was just basically saying, do you think the reason why some of your songs, you were complaining essentially that your deeper songs aren't picked up upon as much. And I was saying, is that because our society wants you to sing and dance and come out with bangers, baby, come out with the bangers, but don't do the heavy stuff because that's done by old guys and Sufis and all that kind of stuff. That's what the question was. But look, it's okay to ramble.
Yeah, it is. You're right. I wake up every morning and my heart says, let's get ready to ramble. Yeah, I feel like that's how it is. I do agree with you and I respect your perspective. However, I think I've done the dancing bit, exactly the moves I wanted to dance. I've done the entertaining bit exactly as much as I wanted to be a monkey in the circus. I am done with that for a while. I might need money again, so I'll do it again.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm very detached from fame and money. I understand that it's paper that buys me a plane ticket to come to California. I understand that it's my dream to take my family to Hawaii. It's my dream. I heard it's a happy place. I've seen pictures on Google, and I want to go. I want to live that life for like a week, a month, a year, maybe I'll move there. I don't know. And I just, I feel that I'm done for a bit. And
Okay.
I have been done 6 months before quarantine.
Yeah.
I didn't say it. I didn't announce it because people wouldn't understand. I just thought I'll just act like it instead of talk about it. So I started to focus heavily on my album. I know that we were supposed to. I know I told you 90% of this interview should be about my album, la, la, la. But you know what? I am all over the place. So we'll talk about the album in a bit as well. And I feel like बहुत ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਯਾਰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਆ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਿੰਗਰ ਹੋ ਨਾ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਰਟਿਸਟ ਹੋ ਜੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰਾਈਟਰ ਹੋ ਯਾਰ ਮੈਂ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਮੈਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਨਾ ਉਹ ਲਾਈਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੇ ਇਨਸਾਨ ਨੇ ਬਿਕਾਜ਼ ਦੇ ਅੰਡਰਸਟੈਂਡ ਕਿ ਫੇਮ ਤਾਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਪਸ ਕੀ ਦਈਏ ਲਾਈਕ ਜੇ ਯੂਨੀਵਰਸ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇੰਨਾ ਕੁਝ ਗਿਫਟ ਕੀਤਾ ਹੈ ਲਾਈਕ ਸਾਰੀ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਲਾਈਕ ਬੜਾ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੀ ਆ ਲਾਈਕ ਲੋਕੀ ਫੋਟੋਆਂ ਖਿਚਾ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਇੱਕ ਟਾਈਮ ਤੇ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੰਧਾਂ ਲੱਗ ਲੱਗ ਰੋਂਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ ਕੋਈ ਪਛਾਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂਗਾ ਗਾਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਿੱਟ ਹੋਇਆ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਰੇ ਗਾਣੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਹਿੱਟ ਆ ਬਹਿ ਜਾ ਕਰਾਈ ਹੋਈ ਆ ਮੇਲਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਲੁੱਟ ਲਿਆ ਹੁਣ ਵਾਪਸ ਕੀ ਦਈਏ
Knowledge, that's all you give back. That's the greatest gift anyone can give. There's nothing more mitti than knowledge. Anyway, should we move on to the album?
No, I want to ramble a little bit more.
Okay, well, why don't you pick? Why don't you ask me a question and then I'll throw it back at you. Where do you want to ramble?
Tell me about a painful time you've been through. You're like, damn.
I mean, I can do it. I just don't really want to go off on one, but I can do it if you want. I'll tell you. I was 13 years old in New Delhi when Indira Gandhi got assassinated, living in a Sikh house, being a Sikh. And I won't go too much into it because this is possibly the wrong time to do it. But yeah, the house got attacked. I came out alive. That's why I'm here today. And I saw things that no 13-year-old should ever see in their life. And it took me decades to even start to process that. In answer to your question, I can talk about that stuff. Maybe not today, though.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. I know so many innocent people in my family that were affected through that tough time. Very, very tough, cruel time. And I definitely don't talk about politics and religion for that reason alone, because people won't understand where you're coming from. Because most people are blinded by their own perspective. And they don't understand that we are all such beautiful people and we are meant to coexist and love each other. And I don't believe in separation. I believe in including. I want everybody to be one. I love that. Like, there's so much I wish I could unite if I had the power, but I don't, but I do through music. So I'm going to write songs about it that make people feel like, yo, like, एक ਹੋਰ भी दुनिया हो सकदी जिੱਥੇ ਸਾਰੇ ਜਣੇ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਜੇ ਨੂੰ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰੀਏ, ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰੀਏ, ਤੇਰੀ ਕੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਸਕਸੈਸ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਦੇਵੇ ਤੇ ਮੈਂ ਤੈਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰਾਂ, ਤੂੰ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਕਰੇ, ਲਾਈਕ ਆਪਾਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰੀਏ ਰੱਜ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਦਿਲ ਨਾ ਤੋੜੀਏ, ਚੀਟਿੰਗ ਨਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਮਤਲਬ ਘਰ ਵਾਲੇ ਨੂੰ ਕੁੱਟਣ ਨਾ, ਲਾਈਕ ਬੱਚੇ ਡਰੱਗ ਐਡਿਕਟਸ ਨਾ ਬਣ ਜਾਣ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਪੇਰੈਂਟਸ ਤੋਂ ਪਿਆਰ ਹੀ ਬੜਾ ਮਿਲ ਰਿਹਾ. There are so many things that we are lacking. I mean, what happens to you when you're little affects you heavily, heavily when you grow up and you become your own version of a monster. And it's because of the things you couldn't even control. And people don't understand that psychology is a real thing, Uh, when I was studying psychology, I was getting my degree in California. Like, people used to make fun, like, that's not really a science, so that's not really, like, a science really. And I was like, it is. It probably is going to be the most important one. Like, ठीक है, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋ, but ਮੈਂ ਜੋ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੀ ਹਾਂ ਉਹ ਵੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੰਗੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੈ. And it's what I need right now in my journey to understand these concepts, like ਹੋਇਆ ਕੀ. And through this time of like lockdown, I've just been thinking. And ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨੇ ਸਾਲ avoid ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਬੜੀਆਂ painful ਸੀ ਯਾਰ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਿਆ, I had to go, I had to do it. And I asked the universe, like in the beginning of this year, I must have prayed. I said, I'm so thankful. Use me where you need me. And I immediately realized that I'm going to go through a lot of stuff because that's how you write a lot of songs. And I can't fast forward the pain and the love and the confusion and the doubts. I'm going to have to go through it so I can write about it because writing is all I have.
Yeah.
And that is how I'm going to be used. I already asked for it. Be careful what you wish for. And I wished for it. And I'm so happy I did.
You've spent nearly this whole life talking about psychology, all right? And studying psychology and people's psychology. Let me ask you something, all right? You have the language to talk about mental health and psychology, yeah? Our whole generation, whether it's my generation or even 15-year-olds right now, have the language to talk about psychology. Even my parents' generation, who didn't have the language, are now learning the language. Surely, if that's what's happened, we're going to be raising happier, more centered, and less angry people. But when I look at the world, I don't see that. So how come, with the rise in mental health and mental health knowledge and understanding of psychology, how come out there it seems to be getting worse?
As long as in here it seems to be getting better, that's it. Because you've got to just take care of you. Love everybody around you. Just take care of fam. But before that, take care of you. And as long as, it's beautiful how you said that. Why is it getting worse out there? That's your perspective, and I understand that. As long as it's good right here, it's all good out there. Because najara ikko hi hai, nazariye do ne. The way you want to look at it, you can look at it. But najara ikko hi hai. Idhar dekhonge te tabahi, hatred. Idhar dekhonge mohabbat, ashki.
Look, Jasmine, we're going to have to finish this soon.
Why? Because you have somewhere to be?
Oh, well, I'm really busy at the moment,
Yeah.
I have got kids to attend to and cook for. And my peri-peri chicken is amazing, by the way. But before we do that, I just wanted to kind of ask, look, we're not going to talk about the album today. That's obvious. That's fine. Because,
why?
Well, if you want to talk about it, let's go.
Okay, well, album number 3 is called, guess what it's called?
3 Thin.
It's called What's in a Name.
What's in a name?
Yes.
And why is that, Jasmine?
Because I'm just letting go of all of this. I love my name, Jasmine Sandless. Couldn't have picked a better name for me, right? Yo, I What's in a name? What's in a face? What's in a body type? What's in a color? What's in a caste? What's in a religion? What is in it? Nothing at all. We've forgotten who we are, and we are just like holding on to all these identities people have given us, which is beautiful. That's how the ego can be, you know? But what's in a name? Let's begin there. Nothing really. I'd still be the same if I had a different name, right? So album number 3 is the most honest. I mean, I should speak very less about it because you can sense from my energy where I'm headed with this. It's 8 songs. It starts with infatuation, goes to a one-sided love, goes to doubt and confusion, goes to diving deep into love, goes to a very sharp U-turn and a massive heartbreak, goes through feeling like solitude is the scariest thing, goes back to, yo, like, I know that you did me wrong, but like, can I see you for a bit? Because I'd rather see you than somebody new. So what's going on? Which is an emotion that's never, ever been spoken about in my language. Goes to the last song, possibly the most powerful, saying good riddance, saying you are not to come back. And there are many, 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 many locks on this door. And that message is for everybody toxic, poisonous, abusive. That's to everybody who's ever treated you lesser than you deserve. And that is a really, really beautiful song. I am so blessed that I had the words to explain that emotion in Punjabi, because Punjabi women, you're going to learn today. And let's talk about sex. Let's talk about lust. Let's talk about drugs. Let's talk about liquor problem. Let's talk about physical abuse. Let's talk about mental abuse. Let's talk about it. And let's, at the end of it, talk about how you're going to get through it. Let's make that music.
Wow. I can't wait to hear this album. This is just so you know, I mean, I know you know what you're doing with this album. To me, it sounds like you just extending your love of psychology, because those 8 songs, they're essentially about human interactions and what goes on inside your head. So it's psychology. And you're totally right about our language, the Punjabi language, which is so beautiful, which is so textured and linguistically amazing, is only used to describe in song format about 3 things or 4 things. It's never used to describe everything. So that's beautiful. But just so you know, as someone who loves sound, where's the sound going? Is it a chilled album? Is it bangers? Is it dubstep? Is it EDM? Or is it kind of minimalist? Is there any idea of what the sound's like?
It is my main love since the beginning of the universe. Like, sound was probably the first thing that happened when the universe was created. That's how important sound is. And I just reminded myself of that. R&B is where we're headed.
Well, you're in the right state, in the right country, my sister.
Yes. 2 boys, 2 gentlemen that I love and I have chosen for this album are Intense and Hark. They are beautiful souls. They are such legends. They are such good friends of mine. We have such mutual respect and love for each other, and we love music. the way they dissect each sound and want to make it so divine for me, for this album, because they know how much it means to me, is so incredible. And that's why the album took a lot longer than it did, because they're just stuck on one song for a couple of weeks.
Good.
You know? And it is truly their masterpiece. I can't even say it's my album. It's literally, I wrote it, I made the melodies, I sung it. I cried so much when I wrote these songs. I cried so much when I sung them, and they have seen me cry. And I feel like the three of us are like the broken piece of the same star. And I feel like it was so perfect. And I'm so, so thankful. I don't even know they're watching me or not. None of my people watch me. They're like, oh, you're an artist? Okay. Apne ghar hovengi artist, you know? So my family and friends, they don't like follow my vibes, you know? But I love them. And if they're listening, Intense and Hark, I love you. And I am truly, truly honored to be a part of your glory.
That's beautiful, man. Producers need that respect. You give them that respect. I really appreciate that. And you're totally right. They've got such a great catalog of work behind them already. I'm not going to second guess the album, but I can hear crisp beats and snares. I can hear beautiful, atmospheric, actually quite cold melodies coming in, and then some really beautiful kind of toppings all over it. I can kind of hear where it's going. It's almost like science fiction R&B in the Punjab of the 24th century.
I don't know. I don't know what it is.
Goodbye. So before we say goodbye, my sister, do you want to have just maybe a little 20 seconds singing? I know it's early, so you don't have to sing. Because obviously, as a journalist, I'm like, yo, sing something from the new album, please, Jasmine. And I also think all the people who've been commenting, most of them really want to hear you sing. But, you know, it's like 9 a.m. in the morning in California, so it's up to you.
You know, I haven't sang for probably a decade. I haven't sang. I know you're like, what are you saying? I was speaking words that sounded like melody, but yo, like on stage, hardly anybody sings. That's an act. There's so many people watching you. Like, can you really be naked in front of them? Can you really let them feel how you're feeling inside? Are you even singing the right songs? How much
Look,
emotion can you
you're
feel?
playing with my head again. I've heard you sing, sister. All right?
Oh,
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. You're saying there's a difference between just performing and actually singing.
And that's what I want to feel. I want to sing. Okay, let's see. Let me see. What song can I sing? I mean, there's so many people I love. There's so many Punjabi poets I love. Mainu tera shabab le baitha, rang gora gulab le baitha, kinni beeti kinni beeti kinni piti te kinni बाकी है किन्नी बीती ते किन्नी बाकी है मैनू ए हो हिसाब ले 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 बैठा मैनू तेरा शबाब ले बैठा रंग गोरा गुलाब ले
Va! Forget everything else over the last hour. That was beautiful. But what you just did, Hi Rabba. How are you feeling now?
I feel secure. I feel safe. And that is like everything to me.
I felt like 10,000, 10 million women, some of them no longer alive, just sang with you and came through your voice then. You were channeling something really deep beyond yourself.
Yeah, that's how I do. That's my swag.